half a foot of snow last night. I'll take this moisture, but under protest. So hopefully this is the last of the snow we see for the year. Even my kids aren't excited to see this. Charlie, my youngest boy, he was just mentioning before he went off to school on how frustrating it is that it snowed early October and now it snowed late April. And this has got to be one of the longest winters, he was saying, that he can remember. And he's probably right. But this moisture is good. We'll see this moisture later on in the year. And this nice thing about snow is when it melts, it'll seep and soak right into the soil. So this will be held down there for reserve. We won't get too much runoff on this, which is really good. So we just got to be patient, bide our time. We have a lot of honey house work to do anyways. I'm working on my CFIA registration update, and I have the crew scraping boxes, sorting boxes, and cutting patties. So we have at least a week's work we can do inside the honey house before we get out to the hives. And it's nice to be caught up with our hive work. We have all the strips dropped, everything's fed up. So the hives are stuck in the boxes right now, but they have everything they need inside that box, so they should be just cooking along there. In the meantime, we'll just try to... Can't enjoy this weather, but you know, it is Manitoba. Stuck behind my desk today, thanks to the weather. The snow has pretty much shut down everything we can do outside. So I have the crew scraping boxes, and I'm behind my desk just getting some business done. I'm working at updating my CFIA honey house production records. CFIA has come through some changes, some regulatory changes. So we have to update our programs that we have going on right now, which is fine, but very confusing, and nobody really knows what's going on. When these changes had first started to come in, there's an extreme amount of confusion. Nobody knew what was going on, and there wasn't really any type of guidance to be able to help beekeepers navigate through the changes and all the requirements that are needed. So far, there's been a lot of workshops right across Western Canada. Bee Made Honey and the Manitoba Beekeepers Association about a week ago held 2 workshops to help registered producers kind of work through the templates, just to kind of orientate ourselves to all the documents to be able to implement all these programs. And that's extremely helpful. I know when I first uploaded the documents, there's a whack of paper here. And the first thing I did was I threw it in the garbage. I said, the heck with this. Like all this. You see, I already have a registration program here working. And I've been registered with CFIA for the last 5 years. So what I'm doing here is basically sufficient, except I need to add a few more programs and some more documentation to it. So Bee Made and the Alberta, Saskatchewan, and Manitoba Beekeepers Associations have provided these templates to help beekeepers like me navigate through all these programs. And the workshops are extremely helpful. I pulled this out of the garbage and walked through this, and it's pretty simple stuff. So this thing, I've been working away at it today, and they had developed these programs. So basically we have all these SOPs, and we just, you know, we read through it, we just kind of customize it to our facility and our operation, and we just put our names in there. So these templates are ready to go. You just, you know, cut and paste your name in there, just adjust the wording and a few things to make sure it suits your operation. And it'll help us with our compliance with all these regulatory changes coming down the pipe. The biggest one is the HACCP plan. I didn't have that before. Other things, you know, we're looking at food defense. you know, and just traceability right from your bee yards through your extracting facility and right to your buyer. So it's all pretty common sense. It's just a lot of paperwork, and it's kind of getting out of hand a little bit. When I first printed this off, I let some guys know what I felt about it, and I'm pretty sure they were holding their phone out here for a while and just say yep, and then just holding their phone out, because I think CFIA, you know, some of this is getting a little bit too carried away, and we have to realize that we are primary producers, and it seems unfair that we have to put ourselves through all this regulatory requirement, and yet some of the offshore honey coming in, you know, just goes through a simple test, and they don't have to go through all the standard. But that's a separate conversation. I just wanted to talk here about implementing this program to the honey house. Anybody who doesn't have a registered facility right now, and you're planning on upgrading, I strongly suggest that you get a hold of this template from any of the associations across Western Canada or through BeMade. Take a look through it and just see what's required. And when this overwhelms you, I need you guys to look for workshops that are going to be provided this fall. I know in Manitoba, the Manitoba Beekeepers Association and BeMade are going to be holding a workshop for non-registered producers. And it's going to be a 2-day course, because there's a lot of stuff in here. The workshops we had last week was a 1-day, because we went through really quickly. We're all pretty familiar with this kind of stuff because it's all right here. We just had to add a few more things, and we got it done. And I'm just implementing it right now. I just have another chapter I got to figure out. But anybody who's not registered yet, who's updating your honey house or planning to build a honey house, you seriously have to consider adopting this the CFIA programs, because it's going to be a requirement. If you're going to sell any honey out of province or internationally, like across the line, or to BeMade, you need to be registered with CFIA. And make sure you sign up for this workshop. Sam Barlin, he's a retired CFIA. He's the one running the workshops, and he's extremely good at what he does because he speaks beekeeper language. He takes all this bullshit and he's able to break it down into terminology beekeepers understand. And we provide him a lot of feedback, and there's a lot of like, what the hell kind of feedback. But he's able to take it and then put the story around and why these things are important, why these programs are important. And I've adopted this 100%. I think CFIA needs to get a bit of a reality check here. First off, because we're primary honey producers and we're getting carried away with a bunch of stuff in here. But at the same time, we are food producers, so we have to, meet certain standards. Especially with BeMade, they're using this as one of the checks and balances for the standards for all the rest of their programs throughout marketing their honey to all these companies right across the country, and they're looking for this from beekeepers, and it's positive. I've taken this a step further. One of the reasons why I'm adopting this, because these are programs and procedures, and this is what I'm all about. This is how I built my honey operation. I have workload, I bring people in, which means that I have to start developing programs, process and procedure and programs to be able to pass the work on to others. And I do it very effectively, and I build my whole management strategy around this program. I have all these requirements, I have all these checklists, I have all this documentation, and I just hand all this on to my employees to do. To get their work done, they're just going through all the steps, and I'm just getting them to record it. And then I'm using this to be able to use it as a check and balance to be able to have that feedback loop from the employees to me. And this works extremely well. If you can get past the bureaucracy and the bullshit and take this program and manipulate it, mold it into something that you can use in your operation, use it to be able to manage your operation, then this becomes a beautiful document. This just provides you another tool to be able to help you grow your business, to be able to comply to all the standards that are being imposed onto us, but just helps you become a better manager and run your operation a lot more efficiently. So anyways, I know there's going to be a lot of pushback and comments on this video because of compliance, but do what you say and say what you do.